Hey, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and we're looking at another mystery game. This is Crime Zoom. And I got 2 review copies of the first 2 cases, and I'm going to do my usual thing for these types of games. I'm going to start with not a full review, but just some thoughts on the general gameplay. And then I'm going to show you the first 10 to 15 minutes of one of the cases, so I don't entirely spoil it, and you can still get it and enjoy it yourself if you want. And if you like the content here on the One Stop Co-op Shop, please consider supporting us on Patreon to get early access to our videos, get to vote on which games we cover sometimes. And don't forget, we have a weekly podcast, we have a separate streaming channel with even more content, and a Discord where you can come and talk to us. So before I get to my thoughts on the game, let me explain the basics. So in each case, you're going to start out with a little diagram of cards put together, forming a picture. And you can, in whatever order you like, investigate closer and generally find little details. And those details will give you options to discover more cards, some of which are clues that might be referred to by other cards, some of which are new locations you can explore, creating new pictures. And whenever you think you know who done it and why and have figured everything out, you can stop playing and go to the questions at the back. And that's basically it for the overview. It's a very straightforward game, but let's get into my thoughts and then show a bit of the game in action. So first of all, aesthetically, I really enjoy what the game is doing. I think these little put-together pictures, which are both in the initial crime scene and then in other ones you find, is really cool. And the idea of kind of zooming in, seeing little details, and then finding out more about them. Like here I see, I guess that's probably a flash drive, clearly a dead body here, ooh, some pizza. It feels pretty neat, kind of reminds me of the combined pictures and time stories. And as you already saw, the gameplay and the rules are incredibly straightforward, very easy to teach. Although I will say the content, as you can imagine with murder mysteries, is a little risque, so even though you probably could teach it to your kids, you probably wouldn't want to play it with them. But let's get to what you really probably care about, the mysteries themselves, and there are some things I like here and some things people might not enjoy. One element that will definitely divide groups is the fact that there is no time pressure. You will eventually see every card in the deck if you want to, just by digging enough. There's no limited actions to solve the case like in Detective. There's no timer like in Unlock. So for gamers who don't want to feel rushed, I think that's great. But if you want some tension and a higher challenge, it might leave you a little cold. Another big thing is, like all the games in the mystery and escape room genres, is that if you buy this, I think it's $15 MSRP and $10 online. It's going to be a one-off experience, so you want to be ready to pass it on to somebody else, pass it around different groups, play it with your family and friends, do that kind of stuff to increase the replay value for yourself or to give it greater value. So like for me, I pass these around to a bunch of different game groups, and $10 is totally worth it, more than worth it, but other people might not find the same value since it's kind of one and done. And as for the mysteries themselves, I've enjoyed both of them. They have a nice mix of red herrings. The solutions aren't entirely obvious. They weren't super challenging. We solved them both with pretty much all the details, but they were still fun to play through. So yeah, overall, between the unique aesthetic, the pretty well done mystery, as long as you think this is a good value and you can pass it on to somebody else, I think the Crime Zoom series is worth a look. But let's see a bit of it in action with minimal spoilers and see how we do. Paris, 2018, Friday, 7 a.m. A secure office building at 6 Rue de Paradis, and sorry for my French pronunciation. The janitor was instructed to take out the garbage, but this morning there was no trash in front of the offices on the top floor. Hearing music inside, he rang the doorbell, but no one answered. The janitor half opened the door and discovered this crime scene. He notified the owner of the building, Mr. Martinet, who called the police. And it looks like I can question Mr. Martinet if I want by drawing card 10. But first, let's start with the obvious thing and check out the body. The victim is a young woman, approximately 26 years old. She appears to have been strangled. The desktop PC is disconnected and secured with a password as well as a cryptographic lock. It cannot be decrypted within the investigation period. The laptop is logged into Twitter. And card 15, I can get an autopsy report. Let's do that. 26-year-old woman, 48 kilograms, equal symbol tattooed on her neck, pierced ears. Died of strangulation in less than a minute. Analysis indicates that she most likely stood up when she saw her attacker and tried to fight in vain. Time of death, approximately 11 p.m. Unknown toxicological substance detected in the blood and liver. No trace of rape, vegetarian diet. Alright, so she did try to fight against her attacker, so either it wasn't somebody she knew, or she could see they had murderous intent. She's got this substance in her. Alright, so we've got the computer, we've got the flash drive. Looks like some substances over here. Maybe a little poster. Ooh, we got camera footage? Well, let's definitely check that right away. The surveillance camera points toward the front door. This type of Wi-Fi camera records to a server which can be accessed remotely via a web browser. Well, darn it. I guess it's back to the computer if I want to get anything from that. Alright, so let's check out the computer, although I'll have to find the password it kind of indicated, right? The victim manages a very influential activist Twitter account with several thousand subscribers using the handle Blue. She posts about the contentious practices of a company called Bird, which publishes commercial antivirus software. She accuses them of self-publishing viruses. So we can go to Bird's offices or read Blue's Twitter feed. Let's start with the Twitter feed. Blue Voice. The account has some unfriendly followers. Blue has been the subject of systematic attacks from Cowboy backwards, I guess, and his followers. This is serious harassment tinged with homophobia. Apparently, he's the leader of a community of video game fans who did not appreciate her actions at Microplay. He brags about having already forced her to move once in retaliation. At the beginning of the campaign against Bird, at cpellerin.bird tried to ease the tension, and then suggested a meeting, but in vain. All right, so we can check out the Microplay press file. Did she work there, maybe? Or go to the Microplay offices themselves? But first, let's talk to the owner of the building, Reggie Martinet. Oh dear, what a story. Lise Moina, an internet consultant, I believe. She paid her deposit and 3 months of rent in advance, with her grandma as co-signer. I knew she worked odd hours, but I never thought she would use my office building as her home. I don't want any trouble. Yesterday, there was even a bald guy who came asking questions about her. A private investigator. He left his card. But I didn't tell him anything. I respect the privacy of my tenants. Okay, 53, take the business card. Oh, look at this. Private investigator Joseph Boutour. I will pay cash for any info on Blue. Okay, so her name is Lise or Lisa Moina. And then go visit this guy. Oh, and this is fun. Some of the cards in the investigation deck will actually form new locations. So here we've got, I guess, the private detective and some files. Well, let's talk to him first. Joseph Boutour, 48. Bird's lawyer, Mr. Pellerin, hired me to search for information before the trial. Blue was harassed and even moved out of her house to live locked up in her secure office. She's extremely suspicious. No one visits, organic food always delivered by the same delivery man. I even went through her garbage. She shreds her papers. She has a girlfriend, a purple-haired girl, who spotted me right away. She went to a lesbian club, the Alouette Club. I stopped tailing her there. We can go to the club or we can go to the Bird offices. You'll see that some things offer the same choices, but first let's see his files. Oh, and this is interesting. Is that a voice print or something? The other case had fingerprints that I could compare. It looks like, yeah, maybe I'm going to be trying to figure out whose voice is on some record later. Oh, and here's his expense report. Okay, it does show that he was hired by the lawyer. And let's see, purchase of information. So I can go see Ted Poisson, but who is that? I thought Pellerin hired him. First, let's go back to the crime scene and see what's going on with this. An older generation phone. Oh, it's a phone. It's broken. The SIM card is still inside, and the internal memory appears to be intact. The data should be usable. Ooh, let's listen to the voicemail and search the phone's memory. Yes, here we go. They are voice prints. 2 voicemails on Blue's phone. 10:50 p.m., male voice. Hello? It's Jeremy with your pizza. Okay. And the guy said that she always had the same delivery person, so pizza, maybe organic pizza. Okay, then 11:28 p.m., a little bit later, female voice. What's up? You're not answering my text messages. I'm on my way. Our pizza is going to be cold. Love you. All right, so that must be the woman she was seeing. And yeah, I can see at a glance right away that Joseph is not the pizza delivery man. Not that I thought he would be, but that's kind of cool. And now let's check this phone. The device is configured not to accept Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connections. No data or photos except the text messages from yesterday. Okay, text messages exchanged with Rapture. Talks about meeting on Thursday to eat the usual 11 p.m. pizza. Rapture informs that she will be late. Then, if she doesn't get any answer from Blue, worried messages. Okay, call from Blue to Geek Vegan at 9:34. Several calls from a landline in Bird's offices were rejected yesterday. Everything else has been erased. So the timeline seems to be she was talking to her girlfriend. They had pizza many nights. She had the pizza delivered, but then when the girlfriend tried to come over, tried to talk to her, she was already dead, I guess. And yeah, time of death is approximately 11. Which means it would have been right around when this guy came up to bring the pizza. Let's try to track down Pizza Boy then, right? We got a fingerprint. This one has fingerprints and voice prints. The first one only had fingerprints. A vegan pizza from the Geek Vegan restaurant. The uneaten pizza seems fresh enough to be from yesterday. Okay, because yeah, she wouldn't have eaten it until her girlfriend got there. Go to the restaurant, 16. All right, here's Ibis, Geek Vegan. Oh, I guess I should be looking at their handles, right, in case it's somebody that she talked to. Yes, the chick at 6 Rue de Paradis, our best customer. A meal delivered every evening, but she only wants Jeremy to deliver her food. Okay, so Jeremy seems legit. He's a high-level cyclist. He goes everywhere with his competition bike. It is a GPS tracker. The Hubert Home delivery app allows us to optimize his deliveries, but lately he's screwing up. I haven't been able to reach him since 11 p.m. last night. If you see him, please tell him to come back to work right away. Here's his address. Jeremy is dead, lady. Oh my gosh. So they impersonated Jeremy or killed him to bring the pizza up? And by the way, these are actually kind of similar, but it can't be the same person. Why would her girlfriend be the pizza lady? So I'm going to think that the similarities there are just kind of coincidental. Let's check out Jeremy, see if we find a body. Okay, there's his door, and there's, what, the super or something, maybe? All right, it's Gaston. The police at last. I've been trying to get someone to listen to me about this Jeremy character for ages. A pizza delivery man who needs to eat at midnight. He's a shady trafficker. He rides his bike right into the building. Then he messes up the common area when he parks it. I hear him every night. Except last night, actually. Oh, so he never got home. I've said it again and again at the neighborhood watch meetings, but no one ever does anything. What a strange world we live in. Oh, Jeremy's got a police file. Interesting, and that voice is definitely not Jeremy's. And nobody's inside. A business card was slipped under the door. Okay, so hopefully that was enough to give you a little taste of Crime Zoom. We'll stop there before I reveal too many of the secrets of this case, but I'll finish it up with my family later. So until next time, good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.